Okay, so we've talked a lot about your fingers and about different things that you can do for stretches and for mobility. But I want to talk to you right now about the fascia. So, the fascia is the connective tissue that is between all of our muscles and tissues, tendons, ligaments, everything. It's kind of the glue that holds everything together. And glue is a really good analogy because what happens is the fascia ends up acting like glue if we don't melt it, if we don't move our joints every day. And so there's this great speech, you can look it up on YouTube, by a pathologist named Gil Headley, Headley. And it's called the Fuzz Speech. It's a 5-minute speech and it will change your life. He talks about, if I may paraphrase him, he talks about how your connective tissue, your fascia, when you sleep at night, it forms kind of like a web. And that web is all interlocking and it kind of keeps things quiet for the evening, for the nighttime while you're sleeping. And when you wake up in the morning, things are a little bit stiff, but as soon as you start to stretch and move your muscles and everything like that, it melts that fuzz away. But let's say you don't get up. Let's say you stay in bed for a week because you got the flu or an injury or something like that. Each day, that fascia, that web, goes over and gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And so pretty soon it forms a lot of stiffness if we have a sedentary lifestyle, if we don't move enough. These things, these adhesions, the glue starts to kind of, the layers stick to each other and stick to each other. And then it gets really hard to move that joint, to move those muscles through their normal range of motion. So that's kind of about the fuzz. And so what I want to talk about is arthritis in the hands and the fascia in our hands. So you have all these bones in your hands and you have connective tissue keeping everything together. One of the things that you can do is what I like to call fascia melts. And it's very simple. While you are watching TV or doing anything at all, literally you just take your fingers. So I'm going to take these two fingers and I'm going to put them together like this. Okay. So my hands are together in this little joint and I'm just pressing until I feel discomfort. So nothing that you can't breathe through, but a little bit of discomfort. And you want to hold that for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 to 5. Okay. Each one of these joints. And what that does is it puts pressure on the connective tissue that is between all of our fingers, and it starts to melt away and to release some of those adhesions. Some of that glue starts to melt. And so if we can hold this, like I said, while you're, while you're watching a movie or doing something else anyway, hold it and make sure that you continue to feel it, right? Because as it loosens up, you might have to press a little bit harder and a little bit harder in order to get that same discomfort. And what you're doing is you're melting through layers of stuck fascia, and you are freeing up mobility in your hands. And so if you are someone who struggles with arthritis or just kind of really stiff joints and hands, especially for riders, especially when you're on the motorcycle and you're just kind of stuck with that same hand position all the time, this is one of those ways that you can really free up some motion and mobility in your finger joints and in your hands. So each one of those joints, this one is the hardest one for me. Boy, it doesn't take much pressure to hurt. So 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. So in 12 minutes, you can get all of your joints. And I promise you, if you do that every day on the regular, just while you're doing nothing else or something else that doesn't require your hands will thank you. And you will end up thanking me for this information. I hope it was helpful.